All right, folks, if you're tuning in, we're going to get started with this session in just a few minutes. We're inviting experts from AWS to speak about the newly enhanced Amazon EKS add-ons experience. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the add-ons we already support and some of the third-party vendor add-ons that we announced support for very recently. So stay tuned. We're going to get started in just a minute. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Sai Venom. I'm a developer advocate with AWS. Today, we're inviting experts from AWS to talk about the newly announced enhancement to the EKS, Amazon EKS add-ons experience. Let me go ahead and bring my guests on right now. And we'll kill the music. All right, welcome, Omar, Sriram, Swami. Thank you so much for joining us today. How about we do a quick round the table? Introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about what you do at AWS. Omar, we'll start with you.
Awesome. Thanks, Sai. Good to be here. Omar Shihab, I'm Senior Product Manager in AWS Marketplace, so I'm specifically focused on containers and creating the best user experience for customers to deploy containers on EKS, ECS anywhere, EKS anywhere, or wherever they want to deploy. But also on the seller side, trying to create the better customer experience for sellers to publish their listings on AWS Marketplace. And we'll talk about AWS Marketplace very soon.
That's right. This is great. We've got folks from the Marketplace side today, as well as the Amazon EKS product team. Swami, let's jump to you next.
Hi, Sai. Thank you so much actually for having me in this session. Hi, everyone. My name is Swaminathan Jayaraman. You can call me Swami. I'm a specialist solutions architect with AWS Marketplace. I help sellers onboard their products onto AWS Marketplace. I specialize in containers, Amazon Machine Images, AMIs, and SaaS products.
Awesome. Swami's our resident SME today, and he's going to be doing a demo for us as well. As you know, on Containers from the Couch, we almost always try to have a demo, and Swami's going to be leading that for us. We'll start with the light board that you can kind of see here to sketch out, and then we'll jump to that. All right, last but not least, Sriram, jump to you.
Hey, Sai. Thanks for having me here. Hi, everyone. This is Sriram Ranganathan. I'm a product manager with the EKS team, primarily focused on making the usage of add-ons much more easier for our customers. So I focus primarily on everything and anything to do about add-ons. I'm excited to be here and looking forward to this session.
Awesome. Absolutely. Sriram is the add-ons guy here. And Sriram, I'm going to start with you today for our first question. Now, a lot of folks that have been working with Amazon EKS are probably already familiar with the number of add-ons. And you know, for the sake of being able to delineate the type of add-ons, let's call those first-party add-ons. Can we first talk a little bit about what are Amazon EKS add-ons and give me an example of a few of them?
Sure, yeah. So I would say add-on is a software that basically provides operational capabilities to your Kubernetes application. They are not specific to your application as such, but they provide operational capabilities. You can think about it, things like your observability agents that you deploy on your Kubernetes clusters, or things like Kubernetes drivers that allow your clusters to interact with underlying AWS resources like networking, storage, or compute. An example of things would be like the VPC CNI add-on that allows your cluster communications to happen and is responsible for handing out the IPs to the various pods that get deployed on your Kubernetes cluster. Another example would be like Core DNS, which is mainly used for service discovery. And the third one, one of the core add-ons that we also have in-house is the kube proxy, which is allowed, which is again an add-on that we support. Along with that, we also have some other first-party add-ons like the EBS CSI driver and the AWS distro for open telemetry. And we are constantly working on improving the catalog of add-ons that we have and support for our customers.
Exactly. And my pink marker is not working very well here, but all right. So those are kind of examples of some of the first-party add-ons. Now, Sriram, what did we announce and reinvent? What's the new enhancement that we're going to be focusing on today?
Sure. So typically, add-ons are built by the Kubernetes community or AWS cloud providers like AWS or from third-party vendors. So far, all the add-ons that we have are either from the Kubernetes community or from native AWS add-ons. At reInvent 2022, we announced support for installing third-party add-ons through AWS Marketplace. What it essentially means is if one of our partners or ISV vendors is listed on AWS Marketplace, you can grab that add-on from AWS Marketplace and easily install it on your EKS clusters. So the advantage that you get is you can find software that you need from AWS Marketplace, you can subscribe to it, and you can deploy it easily to your EKS clusters. So we give you the out-of-the-box capability to manage the lifecycle of such add-ons. So discoverability is much more easier, installation is much more easier, and ongoing maintenance of those software is much more easier. The other advantage that you also get is because we are allowing this to be directly installed from AWS Marketplace, we make sure that these software are continuously scanned for CVEs. If there are vulnerabilities that are found, we patch them and make sure that the latest version is available for our customers so that they can go ahead and install it. And we also make sure that we do some kind of testing to make sure the software is all working when customers are using it. So we take a lot of the undifferentiated heavy lifting under the hoods before we make things available for our customers.
Absolutely. And so I know we announced support for a few, and off the top of my mind, of course, today we're going to be featuring Tetrate, as you could probably tell from the name of the stream. So Tetrate is one of them, but how many third-party vendors do we support as EKS add-ons today?
So as of today, we have 7 third-party add-ons that we support. One of them, obviously, you wrote is Tetrate Istio. The other one is KubeCost. Yep. We have Teleport, which is used for security and IAM, identity and access management. Then we have Upbound Crossplane. Then we have Dynatrace Operator. We also have KPOW and Dattree.
Okay, I'm going to just put a ... because, okay, so I think you listed out 7. So we've got 7 that we support today. Can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up next and how we prioritize or choose vendors that are going to be supported as add-ons?
Sure, yeah. So we are actively listening to our customers in terms of what they're requesting. So we have a prioritized list of top asks from our customers. So that is how we start prioritizing which add-ons come next. So one of the things that we are actively working on this year is to expand the catalog of add-ons that is available. So you will soon start seeing some new add-ons coming on board as we go along this journey throughout the year. And we are also trying to bring in certain feature parities with respect to what is available for first-party add-ons versus third-party add-ons. Today, first-party add-ons, when we talk about it, has far more flexibility in terms of having the ability to configure. We are still working on that ability and extending that particular feature to third-party add-ons, which is against something that we are actively working on. We expect to make it available soon for our customers. So those are some exciting things that are happening in the add-on side of the world. So one is bringing in feature parity with what we have in first-party add-ons and also expanding the catalog of add-ons so that customers have a broader choice to choose from.
Got it. And again, like I mentioned, we're going to see a demo later from Swami showing exactly how that add-on experience, which users are probably familiar with doing, some of our first-party add-ons, things like the ADOC collector, VPC CNI, these kind of managed add-ons, and how we're extending that experience to these third-party marketplace add-ons. So we've talked a little bit about and we've referred to the AWS marketplace already a couple of times here. I know that the marketplace is a source for third-party vendor software for our users, and it has been even before this announcement. So Omar, my next question is to you to talk a little bit about what exactly the marketplace is and how this add-ons experience differs from how customers have already been able to work with the marketplace previous to this announcement.
Sure, absolutely, Sai. And so you rightly called out that AWS Marketplace really is not a new thing. So we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. And what AWS Marketplace really is, it's a service provided by AWS Marketplace for customers to come in and get their third-party software, APIs, data, services, and then deploy them on Amazon or AWS, the AWS environment. We started off with what we call as AMIs, Amazon Machine Images, that are deployable on EC2. Then we went to SaaS, and in 2018, we launched containers. And the catalog's ever growing. So we have about 7,000 AMIs, about 2,600 SaaS providers listed on AWS Marketplace today for customers to come find, subscribe, and then deploy on their AWS environments. And in 2018, we launched containers. Since 2018, we've been growing the catalog. So we have right now about 560 applications listed for customers to deploy on their EKS and ECS, EKSA, ECSA clusters. But what has changed really is that we're in Amazon. Like we are customer obsessed, and I want to stress this out, that we always listen to our customers and what they need, what they've been telling us. And so we launched in 2018, and ever since, our customers have been saying, hey, make it a better experience. Integrate with EKS better. Integrate with ECS better. Integrate with EKS anywhere better. And so this is when we, AWS Marketplace and the EKS team, put our heads together and said, okay, well, how can we make a very crisp and amazing customer experience? We already have EKS add-ons. How about we marry both worlds together and create an experience where customers can not only find and subscribe and then deploy third-party add-ons from AWS Marketplace using the EKS console, but also deploy using APIs, deploy using CloudFormation, Terraform. Basically, however you deploy your EKS add-ons today, you're going to be able to deploy the third-party add-ons that are listed on the EKS cluster. And you put in 3 dots. 3 dots is very accurate because we will be expanding the catalog. And so more to come on that.
Awesome. And so when I think about the user experience with the marketplace and the new experience that we built into Amazon EKS, I think it's worth sketching that out. So I'm going to start with that, and folks, keep me honest as I go through this. Now, let's say as an EKS user, right? So we've got a persona here that's working with EKS and as probably wanting, let's say, to go in with the demo we have today. Let's say they're exploring service mesh opportunities or rather solutions. And now there's 2 ways for them to discover what solutions are capable or available for them when working with EKS. And so let's start with the first one here. Let's make sure I stay within the bounds. Now, the first one they can start with here is going to be the actual Amazon EKS add-on catalog. And now this is new, right? So we've actually, although we've had support for first-party add-ons, this new Amazon EKS add-on catalog was introduced to kind of supplement user experience, whether they're working with first-party or third-party add-ons. Can you talk a little bit about that experience, Sriram, of what we've actually built into the UI with this new catalog?
Sure. So when you log into the Amazon EKS console, you will distinctly see that there are 2 sections for choosing the add-ons. One is the native first-party add-ons that we support, and then you will see that there is a third-party add-on that you can choose from. And that's where you will see the different add-ons that we just spoke about.
And you know what, Sriram, since we have Swami's demo actually have his screen already showing, okay, we can actually kind of take a look at that, right? Swami, if you don't mind quickly showing us what this new add-on catalog experience looks like.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah. If you can click on get more add-ons. If you see here, this is the first portion of the screen that you see. The top 5 add-ons are the native add-ons that are the first-party add-ons that we support. And if you scroll down, this is the new catalog of add-ons that we added at reInvent. So Swami, if you can scroll down slightly to the AWS, you can see that there is the third-party add-ons like kubecause, Dynatrace container agent, there is teleport, and this is paginated. There are multiple software, so you can go to page 2, page 3 to see the different software that is available. You select all the softwares that you need, click next, 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 and boom, it gets installed on your cluster. The only prerequisite that is required for these particular add-ons to go is you need to have subscription, which is a one-time requirement for you to subscribe to it.
Okay, that's actually perfect, Sriram, because that's the next piece I wanted to get into. So without jumping into the demo with Swami right now, let's quickly jump back to the diagram. So we talked about how users can discover these add-ons in the add-on catalog, but of course there's that other option as well, which we talked about, is being able to discover it through the AWS marketplace. And so now these are going to be a little bit different, right? Because in the marketplace, like we mentioned, Omar had mentioned rather, there was 500 plus offerings. Now, in the marketplace, we've now introduced a new category, or how does that look like, this new add-ons experience for specifically Amazon EKS if users were to discover it through the AWS marketplace?
Right. And so from AWS Marketplace, customers can get free, paid, pay-as-you-go, or subscribe to a contract for a product. Now, 560, but we only have 7. What are we doing? Why only 7? And so we're further validating each and every software to make sure that it can be applicable as an add-on, first and foremost. And we test each and add-on, we validate each and every add-on, we make sure that we scan it for any CVEs. So there's only right now a subset of the 560 that can be considered as an EKS add-on, but we are ever growing this catalog. And so EKS add-ons will be a subset of the 560. It will be more than 7 today, and customers can subscribe to these software.
Got it. Okay, so the user can discover them either way, but there is a dependency, even if you discover it through the Amazon EKS add-on catalog, that you need to subscribe to the software in your marketplace. Now, this is actually a benefit for a lot of our users, right? For users that maybe have discount programs or whatever they might be, to be able to leverage that same marketplace for subscribing to add-ons, and they can be certain that that's how they secure support and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So there is that dependency step where even if you discover it in the Amazon EKS add-on catalog, you need to have a subscription for it in the marketplace. Is that right?
That is correct. Yeah. That is accurate.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's get to the next step here. So user discovers the add-on, goes to the marketplace, they do the subscription. There's that check here to make sure that the subscription is there. And now EKS is going to be able to deploy the add-ons themselves. Now, one key thing that I want to point out here is that this experience extends on the first-party add-on experience that has already been available in Amazon EKS. So basically, the APIs that are used to spin up add-ons can now be also used to spin up third-party add-ons. Once that subscription is validated to be in place, what this is going to do, and now let's draw a much bigger box here. Let's say that we've got our Amazon EKS cluster here. And so let's draw a much larger box. And this is going to help us kind of architect what we're going to show in the demo today. So we'll say this here is our Amazon EKS cluster. Now, once we deploy that add-on through the catalog, it's going to actually deploy some pods. And today, we're deploying Tetrate specifically. So notably, and Swami, make sure I'm being honest here with all of this, notably, the Tetrate add-on is going to first deploy Istio D, which is a container which includes kind of the raw components of Istio. I think in the past, it used to be broken out into a lot of different components that people remember Istio, things like Citadel and all of these other pieces that have been kind of condensed and now simplified into this Istio D container. In addition, let's say that we have a couple of applications here. Let's say we have an app A, and let's say we have an app B. Now, these are going to be kind of in pods. And I'm going to draw a slightly bigger box here for the pods that they're a part of. So here we go. We've got 2 pods. Now, in these pods, Istio will use a sidecar model. So, of course, we've got the containers for our actual application. And for Tetrate to be able to run effectively, it's going to need to deploy a sidecar, which is able to intercept traffic and then pass it along to the pod. This is the root of how Istio works, how it's able to get the data that's transferring, either from user requests or even between services that are communicating. So we'll have a sidecar here.
And the sidecar specifically is from Envoy. So it is going to deploy an Envoy container within the same pod as where your application runs.
Exactly. Now there's a couple of other components here. So Istio uses its own ingress gateway. So in addition to the Kubernetes ingress, it'll deploy its own ingress gateway. And so I'll simply kind of, oh, that marker really doesn't work. I'm going to throw this one away, get out of here. And so I'll simply just put a little diamond here, say that's the gateway, the Istio gateway. And so roughly speaking, here's kind of the general flow. User comes in, they find the add-on, whether it's in the marketplace or the add-on catalog. They subscribe to it. They call an API on the Amazon EKS add-on catalog, which will kick off spinning up pods in your actual Amazon EKS cluster. This includes the Istio D in the case of Tetrate, as well as some sidecars, and any other pods that Tetrate needs to run effectively. Okay. So now at this point, now that we have this cluster with Istio running, I have kind of a question, like a day two question for you. Now that the cluster has the add-on, what about when I want to upgrade it? When there's a new version of Tetrate that comes out, do we make that process any easier? Do we automatically update the add-ons for them? How do we manage this today?
Yeah, so when it comes to upgrading an add-on, we never upgrade any add-ons within EKS clusters automatically for our customers. But however, when upgrades are available, they do get notified with an upgrade now button in the Amazon EKS console. And that is a prompt, and customers can start triggering the update. So let's say, for example, if there is a new version of Tetrate that is available, either because there are new features, or let's say, for example, there are some bug fixes that are available, or some CVE was discovered, and because of that, we have a new version, it will be surfaced to the customers and they will have an option to upgrade. But we will never do it automatically for our customers.
Got it. Okay. Now we actually have a question in the chat as well, and I'll keep this open-ended for you folks, so anyone can respond to this. I'm relatively new to EKS and add-ons, but they would like to see a Fluent Bit add-on to write to something like S3 or CloudWatch in a configurable way. So when users have requests like this, when they want to create add-ons, what would you suggest them do today?
So I would request, like, if you have a session for an add-on or some kind of feature that you're looking for, that you basically log them in the containers roadmap. So that is a publicly available roadmap. You can just do a Google search or search on GitHub for containers roadmap, and you can raise your issue. So we constantly look for new issues that are coming in, and we will categorize it for you. And we will start tracking those requests as we go along our journey of implementing newer features.
Yeah, and that's a really solid point that those users come up, that there's instructions for adding these integrations manually, but they would like to see an add-on. And I think you've just captured one of the key reasons why the EKS team has expanded the add-ons experience is to do exactly that, to make it easier to configure and install vendor software. So, we recently announced the add-ons capability, but as the project continues to grow, as the team continues to grow, as we include more and more vendors, that's exactly what we want to start tackling. It's making our customers' lives easier. And to Omar's point, we are customer obsessed here at Amazon. So that really does come down to why we're doing this.
If I may, Sai, sorry, you removed the name, but whoever that is, we love feedback, we love encouragement, we love requests like these. Please, like Sriram said, post them, and we will get on them and we'll look at them. We'd love to be connected as much as possible to whatever requests our customers have.
Absolutely, and I'm always interested on how Sriram, you and the rest of the team prioritizes which vendors to work with, and really it comes down to our customers at the end of the day. So it's folks like you and being able to receive that feedback, especially on that containers roadmap I posted, is going to be one of the best ways to kind of help us prioritize what we work on next. Okay. With that being said, I feel like there's probably not too much more to draw here. Just to quickly recap, we talked about first-party add-ons. We talked a little bit about the newly announced support for third-party add-ons. We initially announced it at reInvent. We talked about the flow for how a user interfacing with either the marketplace or EKS can discover and then even deploy the add-ons themselves. Let's see this in action. Swami, are you ready for the demo?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let's do it. All right, floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Sai. Hey, guys. So I have a basic setup here for our demo today. I have two versions of an application, Hello World, and so, as a developer, as a network engineer, or as a DevOps engineer, you would always be in the lookout for actually third-party softwares to enhance the operational experience for your cluster, right? You will be looking out for a cost management software or network management software. In this case, Tetrate actually helps you with traffic management for your different services within the application. So what I have here today is I'm just going to actually like show you guys a simple use case that I picked up. I have two versions of the same software, Hello World, and using Tetrate's Istio service mesh, I'm going to actually like be routing the traffic to these different versions of the same software. So this I have here is actually a simple Kiali dashboard, and what I have done is I already have a demo cluster that I've set up, and in that cluster, I have installed the add-on, Tetrate add-on, which gives us the basic setup, basic Istio setup. It actually like helps installing the custom resource definitions. It installs the Istio D container that Sai was mentioning about a little while back. So this is what it's going to look at the end of the demo, and now let's see how we can actually get this in another cluster that I have just set up, brand new cluster. It doesn't have anything. Let's go into that cluster and let's see how we can get this set up. So I'm going to go into the second cluster to the point where Sriram actually was saying how to discover your add-ons. There are two ways you can actually like interact. um, you can interact actually with let me know actually if this is good. I just actually increase the font size. So there are two ways you can actually like install your add-ons in your Amazon EKS cluster. You can either do it using the UI, or you can actually do it through CLI. First, let me show you how to do it via UI. So in your cluster is ready. Today I have a 1.24 Kubernetes version of the cluster, and I'm gonna go to the add-ons tab. And as you can see, there is no add-ons right now. So I'm gonna click on Get More Add-ons. On the top, you'll see the first-party add-ons that Sriram was talking about earlier. So when you scroll down, you'll see the 7 marketplace add-ons from AWS Marketplace. Now you do have options to actually like filter based on the category, based on the vendor, and based on the pricing model, whether it's a free or a upfront commitment like a contract-based pricing model. Today I have already like subscribed to Tetrate, so I'm gonna click on I'm gonna filter by the vendor, and here you will actually like see a small description about the product. You want to go look at the much detailed information about how to work with this product, you can click on product details. It's going to take you to the marketplace product details page. And this add-on, I already have subscription for this add-on. That's why you're seeing this banner over here. Otherwise, you'll be able to click on continue, and you can actually like accept the terms and conditions displayed over here to get the subscription for this. Let's go back to our cluster. So here,
Swami, before you go, actually, I think you were just about to mention it. So I see the supported versions there for 1.24, 23, 22. I know we just announced support for 1.25. And I want to know for customers that want to validate whether these add-ons are supported on their cluster and are maybe concerned about, hey, they want to upgrade their version of EKS, how can they be sure that the add-on will actually work? What do you suggest for customers that need to validate that?
so thank you for bringing that up, Sai. So there is actually a simple command they'll be able to run. If you are in an EKS cluster, you can actually go via this UI route to get it checked out, or you should be able to actually like run this command from EKS Scuttle, which is describe add-on versions, and you change the version of Kubernetes over here, and you should be able to find out what are the supported add-ons that are available for this particular Kubernetes version. Say, for example, now you see for 1.25, these are the add-ons that are already available. Now, if I change it to 1.24, you'll see the list of add-ons. Now, there is a process that we are actually like working on where for enabling a third-party add-on on a new version of Kubernetes, we actually go through a backend process. But for sure, in sooner, all these add-ons will be available on the new cluster version.
Got it. Got it. And I see you can do this through the CLI using EKS Cuddle, and you're obviously showing the UI experience right now. And,
Yes.
and that I'm guessing shows that, look, there's a lot of ways that you can work with and manage these add-ons. How about if the user is using, some infrastructure as code tools like Terraform, Crossplane? Are those supported as well?
Yes, yes. So I don't have any example right now at the moment to show you, but we do actually like support Terraform and like CloudFormation template. You should be able to actually like do it via those. But in this case, I just have a plain simple demo where I'm going to show it through UI and a couple of commands that I ran through the CLI. But yeah,
Sure. I don't
that's
want to
possible.
I don't want to take you off track for the demo. Just asking the question, but yeah,
Just
I'd
a
love
point
to see this happy
I would
path.
love to add there is under the hoods when this project was developed. So the core APIs that power all of this have been enhanced. So even if you use the plain simple AWS CLI, which interact with the AWS API, you will still be able to retrieve the versions for which each add-on is supporting against a Kubernetes version. So anything that relies upon the AWS APIs is automatically going to get those capabilities. So whether it is say Terraform or AWS CloudFormation or CDK, which are all powered by the API, you are going to get the exact same experience. Probably the display and the visuals might be slightly different, but it's all being served up by the AWS API.
Correct.
Solid. All right, back to you, Swami.
All right. Those are really good questions. Thank you so much, actually, for keeping me on track so that I don't forget those points. So, going back to our cluster, we can see the supported versions here. We can see the pricing model if you want to actually, like, it's again going to take you to the PDP page. Product details page is going to take you here. It's going to show what is the pricing model that's supported for this particular add-on. I'm selecting the add-on and then I'm going to click on next. Oh, shoot. Give me 1 second. I think, yep, I'm not logged in. This is what
It's
is.
more so anything that can happen wrong will happen wrong during a live demo. But this is how you know that this is a live demo, really.
All right, I'm gonna go back to the place where I was. All right, so I'm back into the cluster, the second cluster that I have, and I've selected the add-on. And now here you'll actually like be able to select the different versions of add-on. Remember, you were actually like asking what are the different versions of add-on? How will I know? So you'll actually like see what is the latest and the greatest that is available over here. So today I'm going to select the latest and greatest. And here you will be also able to select the IAM role. Now you need this IAM role if you want if the add-ons might need sometimes to talk to other AWS services. Say for example, the add-on might be actually like talking to S3 for actually like deploying logs or something like that, right? So if you need that, you need to actually like have IAM service account role set up, and then you can select that over here. For today, Tetrate is all about service mesh, and it's all about how you can locally manage your services. So no IAM role required. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead, just in case if I messed around with this cluster earlier. So I'm going to use the override function, and here you will actually see before you click on the create button, you will see the status whether you're able to actually like you're able to install this add-on without any issues or not. This also shows messages like if you need to have subscription for the particular product or not, right? So here I have the subscription, everything is ready to go. I'm going to click on create, give it a minute. It's going to take some time to.
So Swami, quick question there. So you showed the experience, assuming that you already had the subscription.
Yes.
If you needed to get that subscription, is there a way you could show us what that experience would look like? It's that I believe you need to switch context here, right?
No worries. So yeah, it's just gonna actually like take a while for this add-on. It's in the creating status. While it's in the creating state, it's deploying the pod, it's deploying the custom resource definition. Let's quickly look into that as well. I'm gonna actually like switch to another vendor, probably like Dartree, right? I don't have a subscription for this product, and now when I click on select this add-on, this is the message that I was talking to you about. So I'm gonna go back and give me 1 second. Let me go to the product details page. This is where you land in the marketplace UI. You'll click on continue to subscribe for the product, right? and this is where you'll actually select, if it is a paid product, you will actually select all the agreements. For the product, you'll configure the agreement, and then you'll actually click on subscribe or create a contract, right? In case of free products, you will let's actually select some free products, say Abound, right? In case of free products, you will right away see things like accept the terms. Since there is no agreement that needs to be created over here, you will be seeing the $0. So you just need to click on accept terms. It's going to take a while to create the agreement for you behind the scenes. And when this is done, you'll see the continue to configuration button. Um, Give me 1 second. I can refresh the page and show you what does it look like. It's going to take some while to create this agreement, or I can quickly show this to you in in Tetrate. This is how it looks like in Tetrate that I have. If you see here, I was in the Tetrate add-on page. I clicked on continue to subscribe, and I already have the subscription, so I clicked on continue to configuration. And now, before you configure the software, you will actually see this message, continue to EKS console. Since this product is actually enabled to be deployed on Amazon EKS console as an add-on, you'll see this banner over here.
Got it. And the reason I asked this question is because if you'll remember when I was showing the Lightboard, we described the two different approaches, whether you start with the add-on catalog in Amazon EKS, that user experience, or you can start in the marketplace as well.
Exactly.
So I'm guessing, even if you start in the marketplace, feasibly, you select Tetrate Istio distribution, and it'll recognize you have Amazon EKS clusters, and it'll allow you to, click that Amazon EKS console button, switch back to that context, and configure which cluster you want to start adding that add-on to.
Exactly.
So I mean, it could also be good to showcase the redirection experience, where if you forget that you need a subscription, once you do add the add-on to your EKS cluster, you will have a subscribe button where when you click on it, you'll go back to AWS Marketplace, subscribe, finish subscription, and then there's a button to take you back to where you originated from on the EKS cluster management screens.
Excellent. So, and you love to see that. And even this stream itself, we've got Swami and Omar from the marketplace team and Sriram from the EKS team. It's great to see that our team's kind of working together to build these tight-knit integrations. And really, at the end of the day, it's about providing the best experience for our users. All right, Swami. So that Tetrate Istio distribution, can we check on how that's doing now?
Yes. So the Istio distribution is active.
Okay. So what exactly did it do in that process?
So what exactly did it do? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me set the context to my cluster over here. And I'm going to check which application, which cluster I'm going to point to. I'm pointing to this cluster. Let me stop this. Where I was initially pointing to show you guys the dashboard. Right. So what exactly this add-on installation did for us is it created a namespace called Istio system. And within the Istio system, now you actually have the Istio D pod. That's what it did. That's a very basic Istio setup that you will actually get. So it created the Istio pod for you. It created the service to work with the Istio pod. At the same time, it would have already also created the custom resource definitions that's required for working with Istio. It would have deployed all these custom resource definitions for you.
So one thing I want to be clear about here, Swami, who actually wrote that install script that creates all of those Istio pods? It's not us, right?
No.
Who actually wrote that script?
That comes actually from Istio, from Tetrate, and they actually have a Helm chart. And what we have done is we have taken the Helm chart from Marketplace and injected into the EKS add-on catalog. So when you actually install the add-on software using the add-on APIs, you're essentially installing all the Kubernetes objects defined by that Helm chart from the Marketplace product. Here in this case, it's actually from Tetrate.
Awesome. And the reason I asked that question is because now our customers can be sure that this is vendor party software. It's validated by the vendor, and that install script is also validated by the vendor. It's provided by the vendor to work with Amazon EKS.
Exactly.
Just curious, moving forward, do vendors have to continue that process to validate for every new version of Kubernetes and to validate as they release new updates? What does that look like? Can we, as can our customers be certain that these add-ons are staying up to date, validated, secure, security patches, and all of that?
Yeah. So,
Yep.
I could take that. Yep. So it is a rigorous process where we want to make sure that whatever we display on the EKS catalog or on the EKS console is really vetted and validated to make sure that the customer does not have any hiccups moving forward. And so at each and every Kubernetes version that comes in, the software that are listed, the ISVs that are listed on EKS console revalidate on the new Kubernetes cluster. And once we see that the validation has completed, then we will put, okay, well, Tetrate now supports 1.25, for example. Each and every vendor that comes in will have to go through that rigorous process just to make sure that we provide the best experience possible for our customers.
Excellent. Awesome. Okay. Now I think that probably gives our users a peace of mind knowing that even when working with this vendor software, that it's rigorously tested and validated to work on our clusters. Now, Swami, I know we deployed the Tetrate Istio distribution, and we know we can be happy that the add-on worked, but I want to see something cool that we can do with Istio in our cluster. Let's take a look.
Sure. So initially, when I started the demo, remember I showed you guys an application with two different versions. I have actually a script set up where it's going to deploy two versions of this application, and it's going to also set up the gateways, the ingress gateways. Now, the basic version of Tetrate Istio add-on that you get, it's going to install a very basic Istio distribution into your cluster, which is FIPS compliant Istio version. The Istio version that is available in the open source market, that's not FIPS compliant. The one that's available from Tetrate is a FIPS compliant Istio version. So that's the basic version that you get, but it doesn't actually let you set up the gateway. Now, I have actually set up a sample ingress gateway along with the application setup. So when I run the script, it's going to actually create two namespaces. Then it's going to actually label those namespaces so that whenever any application pods get deployed into that, it gets deployed along with the sidecar pod also. Because we already installed our add-on, now Istio will actually look for this labeling of the namespace, and it's going to actually install the Envoy sidecar. Now, I do have actually an additional setup over here. What I did is I did actually went ahead and installed few other things on top of the Istio system. I did actually deploy the KLE dashboard and Prometheus just for us to actually visualize this dashboard over here. But this is not absolutely required because you can have your own metric server or your dashboard server, right? But let's actually just stick with the basics. Let's actually look at what exactly got deployed with this application setup, right? So this is the basic dashboard that I showed you earlier. I have ingress gateway that I have deployed and two versions of my Hello World application that I have deployed. Now let's actually look at some live traffic, right? Give me 1 second. So I'm going to actually set up this dashboard so that I can actually see all of those. I need to set these up to see those traffic. When I set up this the ingress gateway, it gave me the load balancer, and it's going to take some while for the load balancer to be active. So let me check if the load balancer is active. When I'm pinging the load balancer, yeah, I can see that the load balancer is active. So real quick, let me go ahead, simulate some traffic to this application that we have, right? So I have a script that's actually trying to hit these two versions of the application, and all it's doing behind the scenes is I can show you the code over here. It's routing the traffic based on the header. That's all it is. That's how I've set this up. This is the simplest demo that I could come up with. So now if you see here, Now you can actually like see the live traffic between this application. You see from the gateway, we are actually like routing the traffic. I'm routing 50% of the traffic over to this version, 50% of the traffic over to that version. You can go at the application level or service level where you can actually like manage the traffic. Now I can go ahead and just trigger the more traffic just for one version of the application, and then um, you'll see this change. You see this percentage change. So I have actually like done the for now I have actually like done in this demo, I'm actually like showing the managing the traffic at the pod level, but it's it's totally up to your imagination, right? And how your application is set up. You can in a microservices environment, you can have a lot of applications, right? So it's up to you.
Got it. Got it. So what you've shown here is how you can do header-based traffic routing. It's checking to see what the header is, but of course you could also do just plain simple traffic routing where you do 20% to one, 80% to another.
Yep.
I think one interesting thing about the header thing, I've seen a lot of customers use this for A/B testing, where maybe they have one set of users that they want to get one version of the app, and another version is served to the other set of users, and they can do so by using the headers. And there's one interesting thing they can do is to look at the user agent. And so based on the browser, they can tell apart their mobile users versus their desktop users.
Right.
But overall, I think this is a super cool way to demonstrate the use of Istio, and of course that Istio distribution being Tetrates here. Now, one thing I'm kind of curious about is, say the distribution of Istio that we're showing here, Tetrate. What components does it come with? And I know you showed the installation of some other components like Prometheus, Kiali. Are those traditionally part of Tetrate, or does Tetrate have other options to kind of do this visualization?
So Tetrate's Istio's distribution that you actually get via this add-on gives you the Istio D container, the pod that we were talking about, and it deploys the custom resource definitions that I was showing you earlier. These other ones, I have set it up just actually like for the sake of this demo, but there are actually like other products that are available in marketplace via Tetrate. Like they have what we call as a service bridge. In this case, what I've shown is simplest form of Istio distribution within a cluster. Right, so I'm managing the traffic within a cluster, and what happens if you actually like have too many clusters, thousands and thousands of clusters, where you want to have an application discovery of these different clusters, and you want to do you want actually like fail over to the happy node actually of your application, right? The service Tetrate service bridge helps you manage that. They actually like have a management plane that takes care of how the clusters are actually like set up. There is a global control plane that takes care of knowing what are the healthy nodes available within your cluster. Say for example, I have two clusters, cluster 1 and cluster 2, running two nodes, a front end node and a back end node. And in a traditional world, you would want to actually like have like a hairpin loop via a load balancer if you want your front ends to go to the back end applications, right? And from there you want to actually like route to the right traffic. But in the case of Tetrate service bridge, if we have this, you can have the front end node from cluster 1 talk to the back end node of cluster 2 without having to do that hairpin loop, go through that load balancer, because the control plane will be able to tell what is the healthy node, and it will be able to route the traffic to the healthy node. That is a SaaS application that's available from Tetrate in AWS Marketplace.
So that's all really interesting. I feel like we need to have Tetrate on the show, Swami. We need to have a dedicated session, because I feel like we could talk about Tetrate and Istio in depth here. But I do want to switch back really quickly to the context of where we actually were able to feature this add-on. And so kind of coming back to this view right here, we talked a little bit about, just to recap, first-party add-ons, things that are supported on Amazon EKS already. The demo that Swami so graciously did for us, showcasing the new extended Amazon EKS add-ons experience, enabling us to deploy third-party vendor software like Tetrate's distribution of Istio into Amazon EKS clusters. We showed the flow. Swami showed us the happy path with starting in the Amazon EKS add-on catalog. We also did take a look at how we can get those subscriptions in the AWS marketplace, and of course, kicking off that add-on installation, which led to creating the Istio deployment, enabling sidecar injection, deploying the actual application pods. We saw the Istio namespace and the components that were deployed there, the ingress gateway. We kind of simulated some traffic and then deployed an open source dashboard. I'm just going to write that here, Kiali, which was an open source dashboard built to work with Istio to actually demonstrate how we can do something like header-based traffic routing. Okay, so that's our demo for today, and that's our kind of demonstration here. I do want to very quickly give folks that are watching a chance to ask some questions. If you have anything that you'd like a little bit more information on, don't hesitate to ask questions here. And I want to go around the table one more time and go back to my awesome guest speakers here, see if there's anything else that you want to share with the community, maybe ways to get started, ways to get involved, how to learn more. Omar, I'll start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Few words of encouragement. I encourage everyone to try what Swami just did. If you don't want to try it with Tetrate, try it out with KubeCost. If not with KubeCost, there's many applications, not just inside the 3P add-ons on the EKS console, but also if you wanted to come in and try out getting a third-party software, either free or pay-as-you-go from AWS Marketplace, feel free to do so. We love feedback, so whatever feedback you have, more than happy to listen.
Awesome. Thanks, Omar. Sriram, any final words?
Yeah, no, I just want to echo whatever Omar said. If you have any feedback for us, please feel free to go and log it in the containers roadmap. We actively take a look at it. If there are add-ons that you would like that you do not find in the catalog, that's the best place to start off with, because as it starts generating more interest, it starts popping up in our priority and we will start prioritizing those add-ons. So we are actively working on expanding the catalog, but if there is a popular add-on that a lot of our customers use and there's demand for it, we are definitely going to prioritize it. So I want to reiterate that fact. So if you are seeing certain features for add-ons that is missing, or you're seeing that the catalog is not having all the add-ons that you're looking for, please go ahead and leave your feedback in the containers roadmap and we'll be happy to take a look.
Awesome. Thank you. And I did drop a link to that containers roadmap in the chat. I'll drop it here again just in case. It's the best way to get in touch with the Amazon EKS team to see what we're working on and to suggest enhancements or maybe your use case for potentially what we should focus on moving forward. Swami, I want to thank you for that awesome demo. I'm a big fan of Istio, and I love to see it in action. But at the end of the day, it's just one of the 7 add-ons that we support today, and of course, more add-ons coming in the future, at least for the third-party vendor add-ons. Any last words, Swami, before we cut today?
No, Omar and Sriram, they summed it up really good. Please do actually keep the feedback coming in. Amazon actually loves feedback. We are a customer obsessed company, so we would love to hear those feedbacks from you guys on how we can actually improve the product, improve the experience. For the if you can actually drop the links that of the Tetrate workshop, that would be also good if people are looking for an offline reference. There you go. Thank you, Sai. And that's the workshop that's actually from Tetrate. Be on the lookout actually for AWS blogs and workshops from AWS. And for any questions that you have, the first and foremost thing that you can do is actually look at our documentation. Our documentation is very, very well documented, and you can actually find all the answers right there. But if you don't find the answers, feel free to drop in an issue to what Sriram actually said, or feel free to actually ping us in LinkedIn. We'll be happy to help you.
Absolutely. All right, before we cut, we actually did get one question that I want to address real quick. Now, this is a more service mesh oriented question, but the question is there a way to augment the network with non-Kubernetes pods? And I'm excited to say that we're working on something right now. And I can talk about it. It's called Amazon VPC Lattice. It was announced, I believe, end of last year. And it's going to be, first of all, I should mention, it's not a replacement for Service Mesh, but it does allow you to augment some networking activities, give you the observability when running in AWS, when working with Amazon VPCs. And this support is going to be extended for Amazon EKS as well. I'd say stay tuned for the developments in this space, but we'll be sharing more about how Amazon EKS, Amazon VPC Lattice, and some of the other solutions here will be working together to help you address exactly this without the need to actually install any pods or containers into your cluster. Instead, it will be a controller-based approach based on the Kubernetes Gateway API. But then definitely stay tuned to learn more about that. That's something we're actively working on right now with Amazon VPC Lattice. All right, folks, that's our episode for today. I want to thank you all for tuning in, wherever you might be tuning in from. Be sure to subscribe to Containers from the Couch on YouTube to catch more episodes like this in the future. Again, I want to thank my guests for joining me. And again, be sure to stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks for watching, folks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.